Jake Foster can't stop running his fingers through his hair. I'll never get this done. Stop. He grins. Get willed in as an old man, walk out young again. Last time it took weeks, and now it's a same-day procedure. I look down at his chart. Yes, well, there have been many advancements in the, let's see, 60 years since we last saw you. I'll say, I should have done this sooner. It's so easy now. I wouldn't call it easy, just quicker. Foster is brimming with energy, eager to rejoin the world as a healthy, viral 22-year-old. His charts look good, so I hand him his release forms. You ready to go, Mr. Foster? Your wife's already been discharged. She's waiting outside. His eyes gleam at the mention of his wife. Oh, they'll have fun tonight, but statistics, they will show up and then they'll split up again. The young always crave fresh experiences, new knowledge. There's only one thing they never seem to learn, not until it's too late. After Foster leaves, it's time for my next duty. In another room, surrounded by machines, an old man lies waiting. Let's do this, Doc, he demands weakly. We're already done. His bald head wrinkles in confusion I don't understand. You wanted to be downloaded into a clone, younger body, and you were. Then why am I still here? I tap my needle, then insert into his IV. Haven't you ever downloaded anything before? Downloading doesn't destroy the original. That's my job. As I watch, Jake Foster's eyes widen in fear before closing forever. Just like the previous Jake Foster, 60 years ago. We've all heard the stories. Stand in a dark bathroom with a single candle as a light source, stare deep into the mirror and call her name 3 times. Bloody Mary. Well, you get the idea. But this story is not about the fable ghost in the mirror. No, this story is about the legend. Or more how the legend works. No supernatural being stalks its prey to their home. No monster waits beneath its victim's bed so it can strike while they sleep. No spirit watches from the window of an old house and hopes someone will notice it. This legend exists because one of basic instincts of humanity is curiosity. You see, Bloody Mary cannot do any harm to her victims unless they summon her. For this reason, you would think her to be mostly harmless. I mean, who would be stupid enough to summon a ghost to kill them? Well, that's probably what most people think. But sooner or later, she always gets someone. It is in our nature to be curious. We cannot simply walk away when we hear a scream from behind a door. We cannot simply run away when we hear our name whispered in the darkness of a foggy night. Well, anyway, I do not have a story to tell. My friend does, though. It was about a week ago. I was just getting home from work when I suddenly received a phone call. I answered it like a normal person would and was met with static. Static in a message. I didn't notice it at first, and I was just about to hang up when I heard a voice. All for midnight. It was hard to make out through the static, but I managed to piece together the sentence from the fragments I've heard. All for me at midnight. All for who? I muttered to myself. Emily. The ghostly voice answered as if it had heard me. I was in shock, so shocked, in fact, that I dropped my phone and the call ended. It amazed me. That last part had been so clear, especially when compared to the static nonsense I had been getting before. I picked my phone from the ground and checked it for scratches. Great. I said, noticing a large graze along the side of it. I sighed deeply and opened up the call history. Nothing. It was as if the call had never even happened. I put my phone back into my pocket and tried to forget about it. The rest of my day was fairly normal. I live alone in a reasonably large house, so it's quiet most of the time. I ate dinner, watched some TV, and went to bed. I didn't sleep that night, though. Not for long, at least. I remember waking up and looking at my bedside clock. 11:57, it read, in luminous red numbers. I shook my head and tried to get some sleep, but that call slipped into my head at the exact same moment. Call for me at midnight. I felt myself mouthing the words. I rolled over to look at my clock again. 11:59. I thought about it in that short time frame I had. I wish I had thought about it longer, but I just wanted to see what would happen. I watched as the display changed and it became midnight. Emily, I called out. My call was greeted by silence. I laughed at myself. How could I have believed something would happen if only I had known back then? Anyway, I'll spare you the details. Things have been getting weirder lately, and I have this uncomfortable feeling I might die soon. I guess you want to know what happens, don't you? Well, if you really want to know, why don't you try calling for her yourself? That is, if you're so curious.